Hi, so this video is going to be some of my favorite poetry books. Most of them are ones that I own. And then I checked out, I think maybe like one from the library. But yeah, so I love poetry and I love sharing poetry with my daughter. This is a poem for every day of the year, edited by Ali, I think Ezrai, Esiri, Ezria. So this is a poem for every day of the year. And it has a poem for every single day. I actually bought this last year and we actually forgot about it some days, so we didn't do it every single day. But since I bought it last school year, I'm still not finished it. So at this point, my daughter kind of lost interest. She's not a big poetry person, and I still believe when I teach vocabulary, when I teach poetry, or when I talk about vocabulary and poetry, I like to do what I call exposure, which is exposing her to poets and poetry and things like that. So lately I've just been reading it to myself, but it started out as like my daughter and I were reading it together orally. But yeah, so they have a variety of poetry in here from different poets like E.E. Cummings. They have Shakespeare in here. They even have a song by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, I believe, the Beatles, and they have some John Lennon, Paul McCartney, All You Need Is Love. And then some very famous poets, and then they have some she kind of pulled from a variety of sources. Here's Emily Bronte. Let's see. I don't remember this one. Maybe I didn't get to this one yet. The night is darkening round me. This is Spellbound. The night is darkening round me. The wild winds coldly blow. But a tyrant spell has bound me, and I cannot go. The giant trees are bending, their bare boughs weighed with snow, and the storm is fast descending, and yet I cannot go. Clouds beyond clouds above me, waste beyond waste below, but nothing drear can move me. I will not, cannot go. So, Emily is known for her gothic romance, Wuthering Heights, but she's also a poet. She lived on the Yorkshire moors, and often the fierce weather of that landscape appears in their writings. So it's interesting. The moors, I'm actually reading The Secret Garden right now, and it's all based on the moors. And I can't remember if it's based in Yorkshire, The Secret Garden, but I definitely know it's all about the moors, which I just found out from reading The Secret Garden, that the moors, I hope I'm saying this correctly, it's like wild or undeveloped. I totally forgot, but I've just realized that that's a way that they describe a landscape. So yeah, so I really love this book. And it is made, it says perfect for reading aloud and sharing with the family. So I definitely think this book is could be for adults as well as children. They have a lot of kind of sophisticated poetry in here. You know how some poetry books, which actually the one I'm about to share with you guys, it's more made specifically for children. And this one, I think a variety, to be honest with you, I think this one's made for older kids. I guess, I don't know what age. I guess it just depends. But I couldn't see reading this with a 3-year-old, whereas some poetry, some of the poems are quite a bit long. So an adult, you can have the attention span. But yeah, so I want to share that with you guys. It is one of my favorite books that I've bought along the years. And I will link everything on Amazon that I can find if they still have it. So this is the one I was telling you about that I think is more meant for kids. Of course it is for kids, but it's DK is a publisher, A World Full of Poems, Inspiring Poetry for Children. So this one, not that adults can't enjoy it, but it's way more whimsical. It's way more children, poems made for children, not just poems in general like that one. So this one, I don't know if this would interest you as an adult, but I had bought it for my daughter and I to read together, versus the other one I just showed you guys. I think of you could definitely own it and love it as an adult. See this one? Let's see. So this one's just way more whimsical. It has the illustrations, the color illustrations. I love the illustrations. I was trying to find one of my favorite ones. I should have marked it. The House of This Minute. This, I don't remember this one, but I just picked a random one to share with you guys. Kate Combs. I live in the house for this minute, where all around me is real, with freckles and giggles and wiggles, with sun and rain to feel. Come live with me in this minute. We can race and shout and play, for every day in this minute, and this minute is every day. Yeah, so this one, like I said, is way more whimsical, but we really enjoyed it. I believe we used this with my daughter. I think I bought it when she was like, I want to say 3rd grade. Okay, so of course I have to include Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends and A Light in the Attic. And these were 2 of our poetry books that we used in the past that we shared with together. And these are unique because it's all his own work versus those other ones who were, the other books was just a variety of poets and artists. So I bookmarked a poem to share with you guys because I actually was thinking about this the other day and I totally forgot about this. Okay, this poem is called Rockabye. Rockabye baby in the treetop, don't you know a treetop is no safe place to rock? And who put you up there? And your cradle too? Baby, I think someone down here's got it in for you. I was just thinking about the nursery rhyme Rockabye Baby on the treetop, how weird it is when you sing it, because I used to like sing it to my daughter when she was like a baby, and my grandmother, I believe, sang it to me or something like that. Or I know it's like a popular like soothing rhyme the way everyone sings it, but if you like think about the words, Rockabye Baby in the treetop, when the wind blows the cradle will rock, when the bough breaks the cradle will fall, down will come baby cradle and all. It's kind of weird because when you hear it in like the soft soothing song, it just makes sense, but then when you like break it apart and really listen to the words, I never really thought about it when I was like younger, but it's like weird because think of like being in a tree and falling. It doesn't seems like it would definitely hurt, and it's kind of weird. Not that I'm saying I don't like it or anything. I do. It's just I like how Shel Silverstein picked up on that. Like I don't know. I love it. Like it's just interesting. Like he and then I didn't include these because they're not like typically poetry, but oh my gosh, The Giving Tree and The Missing Piece is like 2 of my favorite children's books. But yeah, so here's Where the Sidewalk Ends. Same thing, a lot of whimsical poetry with the black and white cool illustrations. And my daughter really loved these. Okay, and now I have a few books. Now these are definitely for adults. Then I have a picture book to kind of tie some of them in. But this is 95 Poems by E.E. Cummings. I got this at a thrift store. I'm not sure. It's probably missing a dust jacket, but that's okay. Okay, I wrote this to share with you guys. Like, pretend that I think they're called bibliotherapists. Obviously, I'm not that. I don't even know if there's a degree like library science or that people just call them that. People call themselves that, but I saw it online that someone was calling themselves a bibliotherapist. Maybe they studied literature in college, so I definitely do not have that accreditation. Okay, I'm just joking, but pretend I'm a bibliotherapist. I wrote this script and I signed it messy like a doctor, but like a book doctor. So if you like E.E. Cummings, I'm writing the script for you to go watch the movie if you haven't seen. It's called In Her Shoes. It's based on a book by Jennifer Weiner, and it has Cameron Diaz, Toni Collette, and Shirley MacLaine in it. And then in that movie is how I discovered E.E. Cummings. Okay, like I heard of him before, just like his name as a poet, but I never really paid attention to his work that much. Same thing as Elizabeth Bishop. I don't have a book by her, but I want to get one. So in Her Shoes, it's a story about 2 sisters, and they're both completely different. One of them is Cameron Diaz, one of them is Toni Collette. All about kind of the dynamics of relationship, of how you have like struggles and then you overcome them. And they have like poetry in that movie because one of the characters is a professor, has like vision problems. So he has one of the characters like read poetry to him because he can't read anymore. And it's just a very beautiful story. It involves like a grandmother, and it has they have like some trauma in their childhood, and it's kind of like overcoming that through these relationships, and it's just beautiful. It's like one of my favorite movies, and so I want to share the poem. I've shared it before. I'm sure you won't mind hearing it again. I bookmarked. First, I want to say that if you're a child or if you as an adult are interested in poetry, this is a very good poet to look at. He is like an expert at wordplay, and this is an example. he has all these poems where he uses these parentheses, and the parentheses make a whole different set of ways to read the poem or just wordplay. Like this is a leaf falls. So you could read the parentheses first or second. That's in parentheses, and then it's like loneliness. The leftover words spell loneliness. It's like a leaf falls, loneliness. It's kind of, I hope you guys can see this on camera. It might be hard because the print's so tiny, but he basically has all these poems where he does this word play. Just the format of the poem. Some of them are even kind of confusing because I don't know if he wants me to read I say me as like a reader, to read the part in parentheses with the sentence. I feel like you could do a whole thesis just on E.E. Cummings and his work, and I'm definitely not a poetry expert. For sure. I just enjoy him. Like some of his poems have a lot of that wordplay where you have a lot of words in parentheses. And I also feel like some of his poetry, he plays with the arrangement of the words so that you as a reader can get different things out of it. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you are whatever a moon has meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart, I carry it in my heart. This just got me. The time and the way it was read in the movie, the timing of it in the movie, and then the poem in general, it really made me look at his work. So I really am thankful. Now, I have 2 books by Emily Dickinson of poetry. This collected poems of Emily Dickinson, Barnes & Noble Classic. So this one I probably can't find on Amazon, but I'll try to link just a general book of her if you're interested. I bookmarked one poem, and this is just a really old book. It looks like it's like chewed, yeah, like by like an animal or something. That doesn't scare me away. But yeah, so, oh yeah, bookmarked. So this one is Final Harvest. And I want to just show you one of my favorite poems in this book. It is, let's see. Oh, it's like index of first lines, if I shouldn't be alive. So I'm not sure, maybe she didn't title her poems. Yeah, it just says if I shouldn't be alive, page 19. Okay, sorry. I'm not sure. I'm not yeah. So, if I shouldn't be alive, when the robins come, give the one in red cravat a memorial crumb. If I couldn't thank you, being fast asleep, you will know I'm trying with my granite lip. I don't know why that poem, it feels very somber, but there's something about it, if I shouldn't be alive when the robins come. Like just, I'm probably messing up the way I'm saying it, but that's just, a lot of her poetry is, it's on the more somber side. Not that most poetry isn't, but yeah, it's definitely for adults. But then I've seen children's like versions of Emily Dickinson poems where they have some that are, a lot of them are about like nature. So it's like separated by, let's see, life, where did I see that? Life, nature, love, and then time and eternity. And then it has a part in the end that I wasn't sure the reference because it's called The Single Hound. I really like her work. And so if you want to share Emily Dickinson with young readers, this is a really beautiful picture book. I actually rented this from the library, and it's on Wings of Words. I've actually rented it, checked it out more than once. The Extraordinary Life of Emily Dickinson by Jennifer Byrne. And it just tells you about her life. And yeah, it's really pretty. And I love picture book biographies because you can introduce a child to an author or a poet or an artist or anyone in a very, picture book way. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I love silhouettes. This is beautiful too. She called her poems my letter to the world that never wrote to me. And so, with her words, her mind, Emily drove into the darkest depths of the sea and of sadness. She rose up to the glowing heights of the sun and of joy. Emily saw the inner world was bigger than all the world outside. So yeah. Okay, you guys, so that is everything for my favorite poetry books from our collection. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love for you to subscribe if you're not already. If you are, thanks so much. And thanks so much for following and liking. It really helps grow my channel. Bye.